Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Give a moment of silence, please. All rise for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Steve.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Present.
Councilperson Freshwater,
Here.
Councilperson Boyd,
Here.
Councilperson Popacek,
Here.
Councilperson Canaferi,
Here.
Council President Demko,
Here.
Mayor Racker.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, are there any comments on any of the listed motions? Okay. Administration?
Good evening, everyone. First motion, motion A, to approve the minutes from the council meeting on February 12th, 2018.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to accept the proposal of Akenhow Engineers Incorporated in the amount of $11,500 to provide a geotechnical slope stability study for the William Way slope investigation between Broadway Street and Mary Street. Agreement between Borough of Carnegie and the Carnegie Free Library and Music Hall.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Steve, you want a roll call?
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Popacek,
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater,
Yes.
Council President Demko.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion C, motion to offer a conditional offer of employment to Lauren Gossett for the position of Administrative Secretary effective Monday, March 19th, 2018.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, Steve.
Councilperson Popacek,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater,
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi,
Yes.
Council President Demko.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, Finance?
Motion to approve the March 2018 bill list and bill list addendum.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, Steve.
Councilperson Freshwater,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Popacek,
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Council President Demko.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That's all I have this evening, Madam President.
Public Works?
I move to award contract number 2018-02A to Roto-Rooter Service in the amount of $85,496 for sewer excavation repairs.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Steve, roll call?
Councilperson Canaferi,
Yes.
Councilperson Popacek,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater,
Yes.
Council President Demko.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I move to award contract number 2018-02B to Insight Pipe Contracting, LP, in the amount of $192,337 for sewer lining repairs.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Steve?
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Popacek,
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater,
Yes.
Council President Demko.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I move to award contract number 2018-05 to Independent Enterprises Incorporated in the amount of $98,750 for the Greenbrier Drive Storm Sewer Project.
Second.
Motion and a second. Steve?
Councilperson Popacek,
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater,
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd,
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi?
Yes.
Council President Demko?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I move to accept the bid submitted by Youngblood Paving Incorporated for the 2018 pavement maintenance program in the amount of $278,036.26.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Steve?
Councilperson Sarsfield?
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater?
Yes.
Councilperson Boyd?
Yes.
Councilperson Papachek?
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi?
Yes.
Council President Demko?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I move to purchase 10 32-gallon liter receptacles in the amount of $14,335 from GEA Incorporated, George Eli Associates, to be placed along East Main Street.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Steve?
Well, just a comment, in parentheses, you'll see that that's Co-Stars, so something that's purchased through Co-Stars necessarily doesn't have to go out to bid, because that's a vendor that works through all the municipalities in the city of Pittsburgh. Just as an explanation.
Councilperson Boyd?
Yes.
Councilperson Papachek?
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi?
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield?
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater?
Yes.
Council President Demko?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to permit Carnegie Sunday Softball Association to utilize 7th Avenue Field every Sunday for the men's softball league beginning April 1st through August 31st, 2018, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And that's all I have to say.
Public safety?
Thank you, Madam President. Motion A is motion to purchase 3 police in-car camera systems from WatchGuard in the amount of $19,110. Again, that was through our Co-Stars vendor, and it does have a 5-year warranty.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Steve?
Councilperson Boyd?
Yes.
Councilperson Papachek?
Yes.
Councilperson Canaferi?
Yes.
Councilperson Sarsfield?
Yes.
Councilperson Freshwater?
Yes.
Council President Demko?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Code enforcement?
Madam President, this has been removed from the itinerary because as the conditional use hearing was not held tonight because the owner was unable to appear. We're not sure why, so we have to remove it and we'll put it on for next month's. Thank you, that's all I have.
Committee reports. Administration?
Nothing tonight.
Finance?
Yeah, for those of you that don't attend these meetings very often, you'll see that, or you witnessed this evening us spending a great deal of money. This does not happen every month. We don't have that much money to spend. However, in the springtime, we do bidding relatively early because we found historically that we get great bids from contractors out there if they can start to book their calendar with bids early on. They'll bid a little more aggressively. So we've kind of trained ourselves over the years to work with our engineers and get our bids out as early as possible, and it's been effective at saving some money. So we're early in the process. It doesn't mean that the paving or the excavation for the pipe work or the inline pipe work or any of the other things will happen any sooner, but it does mean that we're going to get that we feel we got very good prices on these things, and so you won't see us spend that much money every month if you come back.
Code enforcement?
I just have one comment under the community development. This coming Saturday, the 17th, there will be a new business opening at 9:30 a.m. There's a ribbon cutting for Quantum Spirits. We're really excited to have them, so if you're available at all, stop down. It's going to be a very busy weekend in Carnegie, but we want to welcome them and wish them the best, and that's all I have.
Judy, you want to tell them where it's at?
what is it?
On East Main Street,
It was
very
East Main
close
Street.
to, right next to Pullman's Flowers.
Yes.
Does anybody not know where Pullman's is? I'll escort you there after.
Public Works,
Nothing to see.
Public Safety.
Well, thank you, Madam President. I just want to comment on the purchase of the in-car cameras. You know, this is probably one of our best, you know, $19,000 that the borough spends because, you know, it goes for the protection of our officers and also those being taken into custody. Nothing beats the cameras. Everybody knows and watches YouTube or anything else. So I just feel that this was a good decision, and you know, I applaud the chief putting in his due diligence and finding a good system that will work for the borough. That's all.
Thank you. And I have nothing to report. Manager's report.
I have no report this evening, Council President. Thank you.
Volunteer Fire Department, EMS report.
Yeah, with the ongoing issues and stuff in the borough, I will give a report for last month and this month, next month.
Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. Carnegie Police Department numbers for the month of February. For criminal arrests and citations, there were 11. Traffic stops, 100. Traffic citations, 90. Parking tickets, 318. Complaints and self-initiated activity, 863. I'd also like to mention that we have always known that there has been a speeding problem on Forsyth. And in our first coffee with CPD in February, we had many residents that came to bring that to our attention again. So since then, we have put in place different traffic targets. And just to let you know, 34 cars were stopped for speeding, and 20 citations were issued for speeding. So there definitely is a problem there, and we are attacking it. As we're all aware, there was a tragic event that occurred last week here in Carnegie. And I would just like to personally thank all of the first responders that saved so many lives that evening, contained that horrific 5-alarm fire, and provided support and aid to all that worked throughout the night and into the next day. The firemen and women of Carnegie and all surrounding communities were tremendous. This is devastating because we had a loss of life. We have residents that are homeless and have lost everything, and a business that has lost everything they've worked hard to build. I commend Carnegie Borough on a superb job in handling this crisis. The outpoured support and offerings of assistance has given me hope in humanity, our community, and far beyond. I continue to pray for all of those affected by this tragedy. On Saturday, March 31st, there's a pasta dinner fundraiser for the victims of the fire. Carnegie Elementary School teachers and PTA are organizing a pasta dinner fundraiser to benefit Carnegie fire victims as follows. That's from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Adults are $12, children are $8. So we thank the elementary school teachers and the PTA for that. We are Carnegie Strong. We had another successful coffee with CPD this past Saturday, so I want to thank the residents that came out for that to meet Officer Koger and Detective Lawrence. We continue to gain great feedback from our community members, which allows us to help address issues and concerns appropriately. I encourage you that you stop by and grab maybe your neighbor to stop by for our April forum. Also, as Councilwoman Papachek mentioned, we are doing on Saturday, March 17th at 9:30 a.m. a ribbon cutting for the grand opening of Quantum Spirits. We are lucky to have them call Carnegie home, and this will kick off our first official ribbon cutting ceremony, and I look forward to those to come in the future. Lastly, I would just like to wish everyone a happy and safe St. Patrick's Day. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have any general comments? All right. Can I come up, please? state your name and address.
Yes, my name is Susan McMahon. I am here with my partner, Randy Tozzi. We own Bacon Restaurant, and we own the property of 335 and 337 East Main and 337 Rear East Main. And we are really excited that Quantum is coming to Carnegie as well. My issue that we wanted to talk today about is the food trucks. I am very opposed to having food trucks on East Main Street. We run a restaurant, and we have employed many Carnegie residents in our restaurant. We pay taxes here in Carnegie, and food trucks that are allowed to come onto Main Street are detrimental to our business. This is sort of an issue, an urgent issue for me, because on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, we typically do a very nice business, and I understand that there have been food trucks that have been invited to come to Main Street on Saturday, which will directly impact us. And I know you spent a lot of money today, like you said, and as I'm sitting back there looking at all the money that's being spent, I'm thinking that's coming from my tax dollars, our tax dollars that we're paying. And the food trucks come and don't pay anything. If they even get a permit, I don't know what the permit situation is. I've heard that they can get a permit for a very low cost. Most of them don't even do that. But they pull up and maybe take 100 customers away from us each time they come. And that's very detrimental to us. So what I would like is a restriction to food trucks on Main Street.
What we have, I can address that for the moment anyhow. What we have in place right now is a general ordinance that covers food trucks that permits them. They do pay a fee, and I'm not fluent on what the fee is. It's not a lot of money. $50 to have a permit. The primary reason for it is not to generate $50 in revenue for the borough. It just covers the administrative effort to make sure that we have liability information regarding who's going to be here on the off chance that there's some issue down the road. I can see, we've all imagined that someone might come and complain at some point in time, but truthfully, this is the first time I've ever heard a complaint.
I went to the Carnegie Development Corporation first with that, and we tried to work through it last year when APIS would bring food trucks in, because they were inviting food trucks to every Carnegie crawl, which the purpose of the crawl, right, is to bring business to the people in Carnegie
Right.
that are paying taxes. You know, I think you have some idea of how much money we put into our building and our business.
I don't have any idea, but I know it's beautiful.
Thank you. But, you know, we put over almost $1 million into that building in the restaurant and renovations in that building. So we have a significant investment here. And we love Carnegie. We've been really, you know, we've been really welcome and happy here. And we feel like we've sort of done our part to help build Carnegie. Like Bacon is a destination for many people. And I feel like we're helping build businesses. And we want to share that, but we're the brick and mortar people. And when we allow food trucks on Main Street, that directly hurts us. It'll hurt us on Saturday. If we let food trucks come on Saturday, it will hurt our business. And I think, you know, from talking anecdotally to the other business owners, they feel the same way. But we need to do something about that. Food trucks are not permitted on many other streets, many other communities because of just this. And I ask that you do something about that. And if it's possible, do something to stop them from coming Saturday.
To my knowledge, at this point in time, Steve, nobody has a permit so far on Saturday, correct?
Not for Saturday.
Well, then the people
tricky
who show
thing-
up with no permits, I would hope that we ask them to go.
Well, that's happened before. For what it's worth, though, since the ordinance is in place, you can't just rescind it overnight. Sadly, the terminology at the speed of government, I mean, that's an oxymoron because it can't happen that quickly.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear no one has a permit. What is the turnaround on a permit? Say someone hears I was here tonight complaining about it, and they apply for a permit tomorrow. Is it possible that they would get a permit for Saturday, or is that a process that takes some time and investigation?
That one I can't answer.
I don't know in particular, but if council directs me not to issue any for, obviously, over the weekend, then that's what we would do.
Maybe you're busy.
But nobody has asked for
because they're advertising food trucks are coming.
Who's
Yeah.
advertising?
Who is?
Now, understand, we can only restrict
On Main Street.
on Main Street.
So,
We know
yeah.
Quantum's gonna have a food truck.
I don't care if they're not on Main Street, because my customers aren't looking anywhere else. You
Yeah.
know,
If it's on their own property.
I have no problem with that either.
Yeah.
But on Main Street, I have a problem with it, because we're sending our customers down to every other business. When people are waiting to get in line at Bacon, we're sending them to Modern Mercantile, we're sending them to Flying Squirrel, we're sending them to Apis, and we'll send them to Quantum, because we're really happy to have them here. The more business here, the better it is for us. We are not anti-business at all, or competition. We want more restaurants here. That's good for everybody. But people that aren't paying taxes, that are coming and setting up out front of, on Main Street is not good for us, and I don't want it to happen. So if we can initiate a process before the crawl comes, so we're not having, if that's something that you're in agreement with, before the crawl started happening, so we're not having food trucks during the crawl either, that's gonna make Bacon more successful.
Well, they are allowed to have a food truck, and they have it on their own property.
And that's fine too, it's the ones that sit on Main Street. You know, I don't have any issue with anybody having anything on their own property at all. When you're parking on Main Street, people come out of the business, or they're walking from one business to the next, and they say, hey, why don't we try this food truck instead of going down to Bacon and having a BLT? That makes me mad, and that makes me uncomfortable as a business person here.
So you'd be comfortable if we designated an area for them away from, not necessarily on Main Street, but in a separate area for.
I'm 100% okay with that.
Well, like Steve said, so far we don't know.
Okay, they're-
Nobody's asked for a permit for Saturday.
So when they go up on Saturday or
Call
Sunday,
us, call me.
Call us.
I'll take everyone's phone number. Thank you all.
Hi there. I apologize, I was late. I was actually talking to Bob Robinson, and I just want to say, Steve, on this contract that we're doing with the Borough, the geotechnical survey, we're paying for half of it. I want to be at the table 100% part of the discussions, because that hasn't really been the case so far, and I just want to make sure that that's the case. Okay, thank you. I also wanted to invite everybody, if they're not nursing, if there's any kind of safe feelings. We have a really special opportunity on Sunday, the 18th. As part of Library Park, we are building a mosaic mural. This is going to be low benches that are 63 and 54 feet long. And the artist has come up with images that celebrate Carnegie, celebrate Pittsburgh, celebrate the Library and Music Hall, and she's holding 10 workshops where people can fabricate these. And you really will be leaving a legacy behind for generations to come. You know, we'll be sort of mapping it to say, I built that thing that has that section that has the domes from Holy Virgin Church, or different parts of it, to be able to say, you know, I'm bringing my granddaughter to do it with me. But on Sunday and Thursday, there are 2 special workshops. There's 10 workshops in all, and I do have papers here. Probably most of you get my emails, but I better check it out for the community. We're actually making what the artist calls tokens of happiness, where we're actually fabricating things out of clay. So we're actually putting our personal thing rather than just cutting tiles and assembling. And they're going to be very, very beautiful. And I just think the idea of leaving something behind for generations that you made is going to be beautiful. So it's on our website. I have the flyers here. But we do ask that you register, just call me or email me. It's on the flyer. You should bring your grandchildren. So that we know who's coming and we can be set up for them and we're prepared for the numbers. But I have lots of people who are signed up already, but I want Carnegie residents. Churches come. We have some church groups coming. Restaurants come. I think we do have something that has sort of a storefront, and I think it says, it might say food and drink. I'm not sure what it says, but it's sort of just to represent Main Street as a whole. And just to echo on behalf of Bacon, I have certainly heard this complaint about food trucks at many of the BBOC meetings, that it's sort of, so it's certainly not a new conversation for me to hear how it just sort of seems like, oh, let's park right in front of your restaurant and roll up as a competitor. And I think we had a food truck once for something up at the library on a Sunday afternoon when almost everything was closed, but we were told we weren't supposed to do that. It was some women read, women write. So I just wanted to echo that it's not, it's a discussion that's been around for quite some time now. Does anybody need a flyer? Yes. You should have any.
I probably did too.
Probably do. You can have yours.
I
You got an
have,
email.
I absolutely have.
I don't get it.
You got it. But the police should come, the firemen should come. We made this part of the wall. Anybody else? I have some.
Maggie, remind me, what are the hours on Sunday?
Sunday are from 1 to 4, and you can come for just an hour. I mean, we just want to know what day you're coming, with how many people, but you don't have to commit to 3 hours. And then the Tuesday and Thursday workshops are from 6 to 8. And children under 12 are more than welcome. Really, my granddaughter's 5, but they have to be accompanied by an adult. You know, I had somebody call from the Keysport today who said she heard about it. She's going to come to all the Sunday workshops and try to come to the weekday workshops. So it should be a lot of fun, but you're really leaving a legacy behind. We'd be proud to have you join us. What?
Remember our mutual friend Barbara?
Yes, I should send it to her. Yes, I should. And she's published her book. Her poetry book was published.
Yeah.
She's talking to us about doing a read. I will send her the email.
Hi, I'm Pamela. I met some of you already, but we wanted to come and formally introduce ourselves. We have an urban farm up in Roslyn Heights, and we're officially basically like open. We have a CSA and have a farm stand, maybe a farmer's market this year. Introduce us to Carnegie.
You've had a pretty foul winter. You've got no head start at all so far.
I have indoors, yes. I have seedlings already.
Do you? Good,
Yes.
good.
And some broccoli and peppers.
Where is it located?
324 Alice Street Extension.
Yeah, we have a plot of land next to it. There used to be a house there that I guess got torn down, so Brian, this is our partner, we purchased that plot of land next to it. We've got some raised beds up there. We started last year. Last year was a little bit of kind of getting our feet underneath of us. We all met November of 2016. So this has all been a very fast process. Last year was definitely a little bit of a, like I said, it was a learning experience. So this year we're a lot, I think, better prepared. Like she said, we have a CSA going on. We're hoping to get to the point where we can supply some of the local restaurants with their needs. And we're excited to have
We're
our...
actually,
No, go ahead.
we're actually might be growing for quantum.
I hope you do grow the
Yeah,
juniper berries for quantum.
We're supposed to be growing they asked me if I can grow cucumbers.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Could you
So,
explain? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted you to explain the CSA because I'm not sure everybody knows what a CSA is.
Okay, a CSA is basically where you purchase a share of the farm's production. We can't guarantee an exact amount because, you know, Mother Nature kind of influences everything, but you pay an amount and you get a certain amount of deliveries, and you're, like we're doing, targeting 40 to 60 shares this year. So we'll basically harvest everything, divide it up between all of our shares. You get a little bit of everything we produce. The better we do, the better you do. And it's kind of a good model for smaller farms to be able to get their food directly to the people consuming it for the benefits for the consumer is the freshness. I mean, in our plan is to harvest generally within 24 to 48 hours of the CSA deliveries being ready to pick up. So you really, even if you're getting local produce at Giant Eagle or Whole Foods, there's still generally a 1 to 2 week processing time. It's gone to a distributor, it's sat there, then it's been shipped to the store, then it's been put in the back until they clear out the stock. So it also works for us, the farmers, because we can guarantee an outlet for our produce before it's produced. Like right now, we're starting signups now, so we're hoping by, the beginning of May, we'll have all of our production accounted for.
And is it picked up at the farm?
So what we're talking about with Father David having a drop point down at the Catholic Church.
Oh, okay.
That, and I'm also, there's a good possibility if you're in or around Carnegie that I will just do a delivery within like a particular day, like the day of harvest. Yeah, because I don't mind doing it, it takes me 20 minutes to half an hour to drop everybody's stuff off. We want to focus on Carnegie, and if we need to, right outside of Carnegie. We want to be hyper-local, we want to support our neighborhood. I love it in Carnegie, I'm so happy I met Brian, because I had never been to Carnegie before I met him.
Now, is this for anybody? The sheriff, I think it's
Yeah,
for
for anybody in
anybody, or
Carnegie.
you're not,
Yes,
it's
I
not just
have
for
to
businesses
visit.
or anything like that, it's for anybody.
Do you have a flyer?
Do you have,
I actually have some flyers in my car that I was gonna see if I could hang up downstairs.
do you have a price? I mean, do you know?
Yes, the first 10 weeks would be $225, which is $22.50 a week. Which I know I spend more than that when I go grocery shopping on produce.
I want to sign up right now.
The website.
And I live right up near you, so.
What is your name, so we can find you on the website?
So Brian Spera, Pamela.
The farm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Website.
The
Urban Farms?
Yeah, Guild St. Diego.
Pardon me?
The Guild of St. Diego. There's a business
Yeah,
card.
you got that?
You got that? There's business cards out front.
Okay.
Find it on our website, it's on the card.
St. Vieger was the patron saint of farms, apparently, or something like that.
Gardening, yeah, you got it. You
Yes.
got it.
Excellent. And just to let you know, Pamela and I have been communicating back and forth, trying to nail down a day to actually meet to discuss the farmers market. It's something that I think would be a great addition this year.
So we just want to introduce ourselves, hope to be an asset to the community, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
I walk past their garden almost every day. It's kept really nice. They have raised beds like they said, but what they did was go to the expense of bringing in organic soil. So I mean, you can't make an effort to do it any more right than what these folks are doing. We just have to hope that they get a little more sunshine, a little less frost. And good luck to you guys this year. I hope you have a great growing season.
Thank you.
I can attest to that. They're the nicest people, and their lettuce is wonderful. Hi, I'm Jeannie Williams. I live at 107 Cathedral Court in Carnegie. I also work at Career Development Center, which is in Squirrel Hill. And thanks to Maggie, thanks to our director at Career Development Center, for the first time in 3 years, we are going to have a program called Work Launch. For any of us who have been or are looking now for new jobs, unemployed, underemployed, trying to figure out who the heck, what am I here for? I was an international banker and now I'm a career counselor. So we are going to have on the 21st over at the Lincoln,
In the Lincoln Gallery.
in the Lincoln Gallery at our Carnegie Library, Work Launch. And it's open for anyone, it's free. There's different workshops that we'll be facilitating. On the 23rd of this month in Oakland, Carnegie Library in Oakland, there will actually be a job fair, a whole career fair with all kinds of companies, and Allegheny County, People's Gas, PNC, Duquesne University, Dollar Bank, it just goes on and on. And also, we will be teaching at the library on the 21st, how do I prepare myself for actually meeting employers? And we'll have a one-on-one time. You can have an appointment with us, career counselors, which is usually $55 a pop. So it's free. Please consider coming out. We would really appreciate it, and we thank you so much.
What time on the 21st?
Oh, yeah, thanks. So on the 21st, it's from 11 until 3 o'clock at Carnegie Library. And then in Oakland, and this is for the career fair, it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the flyers are right around the back. Okay, thank you guys.
I have a question for you.
Yes,
Now, this is open for Carnegie residents?
it's open for anyone.
It's open for anyone? I'm thinking about the folks who formerly worked for Papa J's and perhaps, I mean, I'm sure some of the folks hopefully have gotten jobs by now, but maybe some other folks haven't had to look for a job for a while.
We are trying to
do
reach
some-
out to them.
I can give you an
and-
email address.
I'm sorry?
I can give you an email address if you'd like.
Okay, and
Yeah, I
Mary
forwarded on
Louise.
to Michael because she offered assistance right away.
Yes, so we definitely want to help, because that's 42 people who lost their jobs.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. My name is Taryn Keller. I live at 504 Lincoln Avenue. My problem and issue isn't as exciting as everybody else's. It's about mail delivery. I've lived there for almost 5 years. There is a Lincoln Avenue in Heidelberg that has the exact same street numbers as the Lincoln Avenue in Carnegie.
And zip code.
And zip code. And we all come out of the Green Tree Post Office. So you can only imagine the nightmare. I literally have created a friendship with the people that live at 504 Lincoln Avenue in Heidelberg over the mail delivery, either between USPS, UPS, FedEx, or whatever other overnight delivery or regular mail service there is. I have communicated with the Post Office General in Washington, D.C. I have communicated to as far as I could go with this issue. The solution they gave us was, please make sure you use the +4. Okay? So we diligently use the +4. Mine is 3011, theirs is 3929. We use it. I still get packages on my door with 3929 in their name. Now, if a regular carrier or driver knows who lives at the residence, they won't drop the package. But more times than not, one of us is driving by the other's house. And we've actually become friends over this issue, and we laugh about it. But for almost 5 years, to have packages from Amazon or wherever, and you know how increasing online shopping is. So we have packages at each other's door all the time, not to mention misdirected mail. So the last communication I got from the post office was, you need to take this to the Carnegie Council, and they need to maybe change a street name, or I'm like, really? I mean, I understand. I think it probably wasn't as prevalent when Carnegie Post Office was delivering mail. And probably one of us came out of there. We're both coming out of Green Tree. We get a lot of substitute delivery people. If we have a regular carrier that, like just last week, I had a package being delivered and so did Stephanie. The guy in Heidelberg had my package and he knew not to leave it at her door because he knew who lived there. So it got rerouted to the Carnegie UPS driver and I got my package the next day. So the post office has said it's not our problem. Heidelberg had no business putting in a Lincoln Avenue with the same numbers as Carnegie. I don't know whose came first. I think they seem to think that Heidelberg made Lincoln Avenue after Carnegie did. So it's duplicate. I mean, it's absolutely duplicate. If you drive down in Heidelberg, Lincoln Avenue, it's all the same house numbers. And it's the same zip code. And when anybody that you call, like, I live in Carnegie, so my address is Carnegie, PA. When the people in Heidelberg, their Duquesne Light, it says Carnegie, PA 15106. It doesn't say Heidelberg, PA. The computer automatically generates Carnegie because of 15106. So I'm looking for a solution to not have to do the post office, UPS, and FedEx's job by running around town chasing after my packages and my mail. And I'm bringing it before you to see if you guys have any ideas of what the solution can be for this problem that has been going on, from what I hear from my landlord, for years.
Joe?
Well, more pressing than your mail, and I don't mean to belabor that, is there could be a confusion if there was a fire truck or ambulance being called.
That too.
A couple of years ago, probably 10 years ago, Homeland Security wanted boroughs to identify situations like this and take steps to correct it. And what was learned at that time was we could change the street very easily. We could change the street name very easily. The problem is people on that street then have to incur a cost to change their bills, their phone directory number. Some people have pre-printed stationery. I don't think there's any businesses on Lincoln Avenue, but businesses would have to incur costs and things like that.
Driver's license.
So, and since that time, we haven't incurred in Carnegie any situation like that. But I can tell you what they do in the city of Pittsburgh is if you want to change a street name, they want you to get everybody on the street to agree to it because of the costs incurred by the individuals if you would change the street name. I'm looking at the map right now. Lincoln Avenue seems to be pretty long.
In Heidelberg.
In Heidelberg, and that's probably the one they just gave me right here. It was the one in
Lincoln Avenue
Heidelberg.
in Carnegie isn't long. It goes up from the Boys Club and over to Wabash. That's it.
And that's the one Google Maps just gave me, was the one in Heidelberg.
Here's where it really got me mad. I'm on Social Security disability. I got a form in the mail for my yearly review. And I didn't receive the form, they did over there, and I didn't get it, and they yanked my benefit the following month.
Sure.
Okay, so now you're fooling with my bread and butter. I had to prove to Social Security that the mail was misdirected for them to credit me my money. So I have no money for like the 1 month, and that's when it really irritated me.
And I appreciate
And I understand emergency vehicles, and that's the bigger issue.
pizza delivery trucks.
I'm only dealing with what I deal with on a daily basis, and I understand the higher issues involved. But what can we do? Do you have any ideas or suggestions of where I can take this next?
The concern right off the top of my head is that the cost that the people on your street would have to go through in changing the street. So typically, if everybody on your street was on board with that, I wouldn't imagine the council would have a...
It doesn't cost to change our name, our address on our utility bills.
Yeah, they just say change of address.
It does
say. Every month is your address changed.
Yeah, it doesn't cost to change your driver's license address unless you get a new photo card, so I don't see the cost of it.
You know what I'm
The big
thinking?
problem is...
Joe, what do you think of this one? Change it to Abe Lincoln Avenue. And folks could do it as their driver's license expired, as it wouldn't be as radical a change, but it would
The
be
suggestion
completely
would be,
different.
if the people on the street would agree to that, that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, changing the street name is not difficult. It's just a matter of passing an ordinance. And there not being any businesses on that street. The businesses are the ones that really complain when they've got to go.
There's a couple of businesses on there,
Yeah.
There's a couple of
Well, there's the senior community center.
Right. Yeah, the businesses, because they've got phone book addresses, sponsorship addresses, I
There's,
guess online now. Those
yeah,
types
I
of
like
things.
Stewart's Farms.
Personalized.
Well, so, Joe, would we have to send a letter out to the residents asking them, explaining the situation and asking them if they would be
Well, if they would
willing
be
to do
open
that,
to changing
and if not-
the street name to rectify the situation.
right? Can we do that, Steve?
We've had situations like this before, but it's only one address. But I can give you my contact and we can talk a little bit about it and try to help out. So
Okay,
I have my card here, I'll give it to you.
okay. All right.
Yeah, and again, the major thing, and I appreciate all your situation, but what becomes a problem is if there's a fire or somebody needs an ambulance, and we send somebody to the wrong street, that then becomes a very, very, very situation. So it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, because it was about a couple of years ago, because I know this is all trivial in the higher scheme of things with it, and I'm glad you brought up the emergency, but a delivery driver came to my door. I actually had the flu and had a big thing of flowers and a teddy bear, and I opened up the door and I said, oh my gosh, and he's like, oh, Stephanie? And I went, no, she lives in Heidelberg, so
He broke your heart.
I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was getting something, I was ill. So that was one driver coming that could easily been an emergency vehicle.
And appreciate that unless somebody like you brings this to Borough's attention, or if unless one of your council members would actually live there and be aware of the situation, we really might not know.
Okay.
There was.
All right.
Thank you, we'll work on it.
Okay, thanks. I'll get with you after.
A lot of Amazon, they don't use +4, they just use the 5 digits. Very seldom they add the other 4 digits that I've noticed. My name's Gerald DeAngelis. I was here last month concerning recycling. Steve, did you find anything out?
I have them just monitoring the situation as far as anybody having any litter or anything like that up there, so I can get an update for you and provide it to you, so.
Well, last time we were here, somebody mentioned that the Scott Township residents did not pay for their new recycle bins that they received last year, and that is not true. Scott Township pays all the trash and recycling and provides the bins for their borough, for everybody, at free of charge. Well, it's in their taxes. Our recycle bins are small and have to be hand carried up to the street. They are heavy and awkward, especially when filled with newspapers, and sometimes I put 3 bins and flattened cardboard. On February 28th, my neighbor's recycle bin had several items blow out across the street, creating a litter situation because the winds were so high that day and he had too much recycle, and it just blew it right off the top across into the neighbor's house across the street. When it rains and snows, the newspapers get wet and stick to the bottom of the bin because there's no lids on our so-called bins. If residents aren't given a bin when they move in, they are not inclined to recycle, even when neighbors all around them are putting out new bins. I guess out of sight, out of mind, you know. And these neighbors have kids too, which you think they'd want to recycle for their kids and their grandkids, but they're brain dead. The Public Services trash truck workers throw the bins out after emptying and damage the bins because they're very light and throwable. So they dump it and they throw it in your yard and crack the corners off. I would like to see Carnegie go back to the way it was, the way Scott Township and Greentree do it, and the way Carnegie used to do it 30 years ago, and take control of the trash and recycle pickup. I even know one neighbor who canceled his trash and recycle service and takes it to another neighbor's house for pickup, thus avoiding paying Republic Services anything. They are not aware of people doing this, because I called them today. And I wonder how many times this has happened throughout Carnegie. But I guess that's Republic's problem. So, I'd like to see, you know,
The sad part is the big bins that Scott Township has.
Yeah.
I think they're like, what, $17 a piece?
No, they're more than that.
No, I'm talking about the regular recycle, just the.
Yeah,
They gotta be more than that.
oh yeah, they gotta be more.
No, my daughter lives in Scott, she has one. They're not $75.
Well, you'd have to ask the borough because they paid for them.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe they get
We could never afford to buy everybody a $70 bin. You mean, think about all the people that live in Carnegie.
Well, what I'm saying is,
Where
go
would
back
we
to
get
the
the
way
money
it
for that?
was, and it ain't gonna happen this year, but, you know, get it in the taxes, and you guys pick the.
Yeah, but then if we raise the taxes and you're gonna come to us next year and say, why'd you raise my taxes? Everybody will be complaining, they're
You
already
just said
buying up.
we needed new recycle bins at a new company, we have a new contract with maybe Waste Management instead of Republic Service, I don't know who will give a better deal. But,
You know, talking about going back to the old days, the way it used to be is people would just put their recycles in blue bags and put them out, and they always got picked up then. I don't know why that can't happen
We
again.
never did that. When Carnegie started this, back when BFI was in charge, they gave us a one blue bin, free.
I know what you mean, but I lived here all my life, so I know I used to be.
Well, right now, they don't allow plastic to be recycled in Republic Services. They do not allow plastic bags. So people that put recycled in a plastic bag and put it out in the bin, that's illegal. But they take it anyway, they do. Yeah, read the brochure that our Republic Services sends out every year. It says right on there.
No, what I'm saying is that you're talking about going back to the way it was.
Well,
That's
where
what
the
I'm just adding
borough
to.
pays for and they take it out in taxes, and in this way, every resident pays their fair share, and if you give them all a nice bin with wheels and a lid, and big enough to hold everything, and they can just wheel it up the driveway, instead of carrying it up like this, they go down and get another one, and I put out 3 sometimes, bins.
Well, here's the thing. That's a service to the borough. So it would go out to bid.
Yeah.
And if they're the lowest responsible bidder, they're gonna get the bid.
Yeah.
Okay? So even though we could incorporate it into the tax, so that everybody's paying it, I don't know that changes the service.
Well, because then you would be providing a recycle bin with wheels and a lid like Scott Township puts out. And believe me, on my street with this part of Scott Township, every house has one of those bins out because they were given to them, and it's convenient because they can roll it up and put it out. And it's big enough to carry plenty of, these little bins we got, they're not big.
And again, I guess my second part is, if you're a landlord, you have a rental property, so you have a tenant, you're paying for that garbage. If you put it into the taxes, okay, you're paying that tax throughout the year, okay, at the end of the year. But now, if you don't have a tenant there for a month or 2 months, you paid for that garbage there, and you're not even utilizing the service.
Well, what does Scott Township do? That's what I want to know. What do they do?
I mean, I tried to reach out to Frank up there, and I wasn't able to have a sit down, but I'm sure I'm going to see him this weekend. He'll be in town for St. Patrick's Day, and I'll have a discussion with him.
Their garbage bill's a lot higher than ours. Their garbage bills are a lot higher than ours.
Why?
Probably because they had to pay for all those recyclable bins.
Recyclable bin.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's why. I don't know for sure, but
We just got to find out.
their garbage bills are a lot higher than ours.
I have a
Ours is
question.
like $60-some every 3 months. Theirs is $168 every 3 months. That's what my daughter says anyway.
Well, I don't know. I haven't.
Well, part of that's because the container for recyclables is significantly larger, and we only do 0.3 yards or something like that.
Well, that's probably
What
paid
we're
for
paying
recyclables
for.
instead.
Yeah,
That's what I just said.
yeah.
Well,
We'll check it out.
I gave it a college try. that's
Doesn't
all
hurt
I
to
can
check.
say.
I will
It's up to you guys
personally
to
call.
carry the ball. Or sit away.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay,
I just want one last,
no.
Jack Pistic, Little Marshall Avenue. I just want to say, I really think that you guys did an absolutely wonderful job with your leadership during this recent tragedy. And I want to thank you. I think the borough has done everything they could possibly do in this situation. I think you guys have set up funds. There's dinners going to be had in the community. And I think you responded to the tragedy. And it was very difficult for everybody. I think you responded very well. And a special thank you to the mayor. You've shown some great leadership throughout this. Chief, wonderful job. And I appreciate all the time that you guys have put into this. It's not easy. When these things happen, it's not easy. It devastates the whole community. There's so many different layers to this. But I think you guys have done a wonderful job. And and at least trying to get some normality, get us back to some normality. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Okay, good and welfare. Tess, do you have anything for good and welfare?
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Nice.
I just want to comment that the visit with the Carnegie Police Department, another successful month. I think this is a great thing. People are hearing comments, people are glad that you're doing this. So I'm very pleased. I just want to commend our police and our mayor. They were there again this week, and along with our detective and our officer. It was a very good thing. And I want to remind everybody, there's a vote tomorrow. Everybody needs to go out and vote. I don't care who you vote for, it doesn't make any difference to me, but it's really important that everybody goes and votes and has their voice in this election. We're kind of important, as you probably all know, as you've seen us all over the television. So go make your voice heard for whatever candidate you like and put it in part of your day tomorrow. Thanks.
The only thing I have to offer this evening is